15 biggest fruits and vegetables ever created. Most farmers really feel great when they produce a bumper crop, but I don't think you've seen anything like these crops. From a 17-pound pineapple to a supersized 18-pound spirit, here are 15 of the biggest fruits and vegetables ever grown. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Number 15. 21.5-pound leek. Paul is a gardener who learned everything there is to know about gardening from his late father. As it turns out, his dad's advice is the winning recipe for producing world record-breaking vegetables. In 2014, Paul produced a 21.5-pound leek that looked like a small palm tree. According to Paul, there is a secret to creating such giant vegetables, such as onion. He had previously grown that weighed over 15 pounds. Believe it or not, it's not some type of mutation or voodoo magic. The secret is Swing Music by Glenn Miller. Every day, Paul plays music on a cassette tape to his vegetables to help them grow. Of course, the fact that he uses fertilizers, plenty of water, and a lot of TLC contributes too to the massive growth. Paul also grows tomatoes, cabbages, cauliflower, carrots, and potatoes. According to his family, he spends more time at his vegetable plot than the house. Number 14. 11-pound lemon. We all know the idiom, when life gives you lemons, make lemonades, right? But when farmer Ayoran Shamal from Israel gives you lemons, you better have strong muscles to hold them. Laying in at 11 pounds 9.7 ounces, Ayoran's lemons became the heaviest lemon to ever exist back in 2003. His record blew the previous one out of the water. His lemon is heavier than a human head and has a circumference of 29 inches. It is also nearly 14 inches high. This record-breaking lemon was grown on Ayoran's citrus farm in Israel, and it wasn't only the only one. Two lemons were very similar in size, with one slightly larger than the other on his farm. Fortunately, for those who have the task of picking the fruit on the Shamal family farm, all the lemons on the farm were of regular size. The average lemon weighs about 3 to 4 ounces, which means that Ayoran's record-breaking one was 97% larger than the average lemon. Number 13. 7-pound grapefruit. You wouldn't be blamed for thinking that what Louisiana man Doc Mayer is holding here is a strange colored basketball. After all, it's almost the same size as one. The unique yellow ball, however, was in fact a grapefruit. The huge 7-pound 14.6-ounce grapefruit was grown by Mary Beth and Doc Mayer and earned them 2 world record titles and certificates in 2019. It is not only the world's heaviest grapefruit, but also the largest in circumference. At 28 and 3/4 inches, it is nearly as large as an NBA basketball. It is also 13.6 ounces heavier than the one that set the last record in Brazil in 2006. Most average grapefruits are about 3.9 to 5.9 inches and weigh about 7 ounces. It is clear to see that this grapefruit isn't in that class. Number 12. 18-pound pineapple. Christine McCallum from Australia has been a passionate pineapple planter for a year. By pure accident, Christine managed to grow the most giant pineapple in 2011, weighing 18.21 pounds. She planted the fruit 2.5 years before she dug it up in 2011 and was surprised at its size. She had only been using water to feed it. Not only was it 18 pounds, but it also had a measure of 12 inches long with 25 inches girth. According to Christine, this giant pineapple makes regular sized ones look like babies. Unfortunately, she won't be able to produce more from her record breaker because it didn't produce offshoots. Number 11. 18-pound onion. A regular sized onion can make you shed more than a few tears, but can you imagine the latest you will be producing with this record-breaking onion? 25 times the size of a regular onion. Tony Glover's onion from the UK is turning heads and making them cry. The onion weighed at 18 pounds and 32 ounces. It looks everything like an onion you will see in the supermarket, but dramatically oversized. Tony is an amateur gardener and has been gardening and growing vegetables since he was 16. While he was growing onions to about 5 pounds, this was the first that he managed to produce a record-breaking size over. However, it wasn't by luck that he achieved this. Tony said that he planted it in his greenhouse, which gave it heat in the winter and cold in the summer. He also was able to regulate sunshine and feed them with nitrogen-based food levels. It is clear to see that such conditions are a recipe for success. This onion is 10 ounces heavier than that of the previous record holder, Peter Gleisberg from Nottinghamshire. Number 10. 113-pound marrow. That was the reality for Ken Date, the Norfolk UK man, who is now the proud title holder for the world's most giant marrow. Although it is not the prettiest marrow, it really doesn't have to be. At 113 pounds, it definitely ticks all the boxes. Ken has been growing vegetables his entire life but started getting interested in growing giant marrows when he retired. Marrows enjoy a firm, humid weather and at least 2 hours of rain for a week. The seed he has been developing for 2 decades are now the envy of all his fellow gardeners. When he cut open a marrow during one of the shows he attended, everybody flocked around to see what they were like. It is clear to see that Kent's marrows aren't anything like the one you will see in the supermarkets. Number 9. 8-pound tomato. When you already grow giant pumpkins, it makes sense to move on to something new. Dan McCoy from Minnesota is proving that if you can grow one type of giant vegetable, you can grow them all. Up until 2014, Dan had been growing giant pumpkins for 3 years, but was kind of curious about what it would be like to grow a large tomato. He chose the Big Zack variety, which produces a naturally large tomato on a mega bloom, and let it do its thing. The results were amazing. Not only did Dan break a world record with his 8.41-pound tomato, but he also did so in an area that has a shorter growing season than most other places in the world. He planted the Big Zack tomato seed in April 2014, then moved it into his garden that May. Then he let it grow until it had a substantial blossom. By then, he had smashed the previous 7-pound tomato record, which stood for nearly 3 decades. Number 8. 138-pound cabbage. People usually buy a full cabbage and end up with a lot of wastage because who needs to eat an entire cabbage? So when Scott from Alaska grew a 138-pound cabbage, he was probably wondering how many dishes will he need to make to get through it all. Scott Robb is no stranger to giant vegetables. Before his record-breaking cabbage, he had already grown record-setting turnips for over 2 decades. These vegetables are always head-turning when he enters them into the Alaska State Fair. If you're wondering what it takes to grow a cabbage that weighs nearly as much as the average American woman, then you will be pleased to know that there are no secrets. Scott says the longer summer days in Alaska and the lack of total darkness helps the growth. Cabbages may continue to grow long after they must have been stopped in other states. He also believes that the correct seeds and cultivation techniques help, as well as water, fertilizer, and a lot of daily cares. As with most large cabbages he has produced in the past, Scott believes in taking them to a wildlife refuge or a food bank. Number 7. 18-pound sweet potato. A Chester, South Carolina family are proving that you don't have to be an expert gardener to haul in one of the most gigantic vegetables on the record. Jay Byers and his 10-year-old son Bryson planted sweet potatoes in April 2018, and it was the first time that they had ever done so. For days, Bryson had been begging to dig up the large potato after rain washed away the dirt surrounding its crown. At that point, the family knew it was big but had no idea just how big it was. When they finally cultivated the potato in October 2018, they were blown away by its size. Not only was it huge, but weighing, it revealed it was a whopping 18.2 pounds. South Carolina doesn't keep records on the largest sweet potatoes, but the previous record was in Spartanburg County, where students grew one weighing 12.45 pounds. The Byers family is nearly 6 pounds heavier. Their potato could easily fill up for 10. Number 6. 22-pound carrot. If carrots improve vision like we are told, then eating this world-breaking carrot will surely make you see the future. 34-year-old Father Chris Qualley from Minnesota dug up a strange-looking carrot that proved to be quite lucrative. Not only will it make a monster of a carrot cake, but it will also become the world's heaviest carrot, weighing in at 22.4 pounds. This carrot now bombs Peter Gleibergs from the UK off the top spot, whose carrot weighed 20 pounds and stole the record in 2014. When you think of a giant carrot, you imagine a large, slender, smooth carrot, but with a wider, narrow end. Chris's carrot isn't anything like that. It is a tangled net of knotted carrots woven around each other, almost as if its seeds were planted a pile and left to their own devices. If there was a record for the ugliest carrot, this monster will surely be taking it. Number 5. 2,624-pound pumpkin. 2,264 pounds and 6 ounces, you heard correctly. The world record for the largest pumpkin is 2,624 pounds. That's about 3/5 the weight of a giraffe, 7/10 as heavy as a car, and 2.5 times heavier than a polar bear. For the second time in a 3-year period, Germany took out a title with Matthew Willerman, bringing the world record-breaking pumpkin to the European Championship in 2016. In the previous years, the record-breaking pumpkins had some from Canada and the United States, but 2014 saw German Bennyman take home the title for Germany with 2,320-pound pumpkin. However, pumpkin growing can easily become as competitive as a running race. Each passionate pumpkin patch professional wants to have the biggest pumpkin in the world, and the records are breaking nearly every year. For example, in 2014, the heaviest pumpkin was 1,446 pounds. 1 year later, that record was beaten by a mere 3 pounds. Time will tell when 2,624 pounds become a distant memory as well. Number 4. Beetroot. Beetroot is a delicious and versatile vegetable that nearly anyone can grow. You can use some for a tasty beverage or roast them up for a salad. However, you will soon tire of drinking and eating beetroot if you had one of the world's largest beetroots growing in your garden. Self-proclaimed vegan athlete Jake Mace, who has a YouTube channel dedicated to urban gardening, dug up a giant beetroot that he had said looked like a giant heart transplant. He believes it is the biggest beetroot he had ever grown, but is it the biggest? Without measuring and weighing, no one can know for sure, but the current record holder for the longest beetroot is Joe Anderson from the UK, whose beet measured 26 feet (1.22 inches) long and was verified at the UK Giant Vegetables Championship. The title of the largest beetroot goes to the Forty family of Quabram UK, consisting of Jamie, Kevin, Martin and Gareth. The family produced a 52-pound 14-ounce beetroot in 2019, which blew the previous record away. Number 3. 5.6-pound avocado. In 2019, the Bukini family from Hawaii set the world record for growing the world's heaviest avocado. It weighed in at 5.6 pounds, taking the lead from Felicia in Hawaii, whose avocado weighed 5.5 pounds. To get their name in the Guinness records, the family had to hunt down a certified scale which they used to weigh the avocado. Julian Bukini said that her family had received the avocado seeds that produced the record holder from the brother-in-law who had taken it from her parents' tree. From its planting time to its harvest, the entire growing time of the avocado took 10 months. Now, the family can have all the smashed avocado on toast they want. Number 2. Longest banana plantation. Bananas are an intriguing fruit, and around 400 people rely on them as a primary source of calories. And you can even use their inside skin to shine your shoes. If that doesn't spell for you versatility, then we don't know what does. But bananas could also be quite unusual with how they grow, or at least they are in this backyard. This banana plantation has produced bunches so long that they touch the ground. Bananas grow out of every crevices of the plant, meaning that it is a highly productive tree that will surely provide many snacking opportunities in the future. While there is no world record to suggest that this tree bears the most fruit out of any other, there is no denying that it is impressive. If you want to know what the biggest banana bunch in the world is, though, you will have to find it in Africa. A hybrid banana exists known as a rhino horn plantain, which ranges between 12 and 14 inches. It can also bear fruit up to 2 feet long, which means that you are bound to get stacked loads of bananas out of every single bunch. Number 1. Biggest mango. The world record for the biggest mango used to be 5.29 pounds, set by Colin Porter in Hawaii. However, that record was well broken in 2009 when it was found that Sergio Martinez from the Philippines literally produced mangoes between 3.3 and 5.5 pounds. Instead of putting them into competition for official weighing, however, they often just give them away. However, they got the attention of agricultural officials when they entered one of their largest mangoes in the Agriculture Department's contest in 2009. They were honored by the Senate and representatives for their feats because there was a lot of pride that the Philippines could produce such giant mangoes. What is the largest vegetables or fruits that you've ever grown? Tell us in the comment section, and please do like our video. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime we upload new content.